Supervisors meeting for May 12, 2026. Mr. Underwood, would you lead us in an invocation?
Absolutely. Can you please stand? Most gracious and Heavenly Father, once again, we come before you asking for your blessings over our meeting tonight. Heavenly Father, give us wisdom, guide us as we make decisions that are best for Caroline County. Continue to bless our troops who are in harm's way. Bless our first responders. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Remain from pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. We're anticipating Mr. Forehand being here, but we're going to get started in the interest of time. To my far right is Mr. Jeff Black from the Western Caroline District. To his left is Mr. Floyd Thomas from the Mattaponi District. On my left, on the far end, is Mr. Reginald Underwood. He is from Reedy Church. And next to him is Nancy Long from the Port Royal District, and I'm Jeff Seeley from the Bowling Green District, and we're anticipating Mr. Forehand being here shortly. I will start with Mr. Black on opening board comments.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I apologize. I'm dealing with a cough. First of all, I wanted to thank all the residents of the county who came out. It was not just residents of Lake Landor. To the Aqua meeting on the 28th down at the State Corporation Commission. There was some really powerful testimony that was given on that. And of course it was covered by the news, but it was really powerful. And I think someone's going to be here tonight at public comments to talk about that. But I do want to thank Mr. McKenzie. After the bus left, we listened to your statements as well. So we'll see what the final result from the State Corporation Commission is in a few months. I also want to thank Mr. Schiebel for organizing the trash pickup that we had the team up to clean up around the county. I think he said, I think he said that we had the biggest one we've had so far. I know that there were volunteers from the Sheriff's Department, from County Line Baptist and Lake Landor, and we covered from Route 1 all the way out to basically Moore's store. So that was a huge area to cover up with. I think we had like 45 bags of trash. I don't know if you saw it. I actually saw it the other day. I've been on a little bit of a break, but Mr. Forehand put out a picture on the internet last Friday, and it was a picture of about 50 or 60 high school kids at the pickleball courts. I know we have sometimes gotten criticized for how much money we put into pickleball courts, but I don't know if you saw the picture with all the kids. I think they did it after prom, and that is, sometimes there are investments, sometimes government does get it right. And, you know, when you're, as a teacher, myself, you're always nervous what kids are going to do, you know, after prom or after graduation, as far as choices. And so that was a really smart move that I think they all did. So it was fun to see that. Also want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms that were out there. So thank you for everything that you do. I always say logistics and love is what moms do, logistics and love. I do want to also congratulate, I think, Caroline seniors. I'm trying to go to that. I haven't missed one yet. Caroline seniors, I think, are graduating this coming week. I've not heard anything officially, but I think it's coming up this week. So, so anyway, I want to congratulate the seniors. I saw where they did their elementary school walk that they always did, and they had their convocation where they got their scholarships and so forth. So, for all those kids who are graduating from Caroline High School, great job and the best of luck. And then finally, I would like to personally thank staff and all the board members who reached out to me on the passing of my father. That's not an easy thing to go through, and my father and I were extremely close. And you know, when I was first elected years ago, he was right there for me. He wanted to be part of the ceremony. So when you lose someone that's so close, it's you lose a part of yourself. But I was glad I was able to be in Florida with him, and I will never regret family first. So I will never regret that. So any meeting that I may or may not have missed, I appreciate it, and I will never regret that. So thank you.
Mr. Thomas?
Thank you, Ms. Celia. I have I have a few. First of all, I want to apologize for making a mistake. I posted on my county webpage about the water restrictions the county was going through with the intention of moving that to the Belmont Facebook page so the people who are on county water would know. Unfortunately, several people took that post as to say that their well water was in trouble or that they were not on the county system and they had water restrictions on their own private wells. That was not the case. I apologize for any confusion. When there are water restrictions on the county system, that only means people who are in the county on the county utility system, has nothing to do with private wells or the town of Bowling Green or Port Royal or any place else. It was just the county system. So I apologize for that confusion and hope that it will not happen again. I do have some issues that we need to take up with the registrar. I voted early, so I never actually went to the high school where our voting location was, but I got a couple of calls about confusion of the polling place, and we really can't have that. I know school was in. It's a lot different when school is in as opposed to normal election day when schools are closed and we have easy access. But we need the electoral board and the registrar to have clear signs so folks know exactly where to go. I attended the Virginia 250 reception with the Mobile Museum, and I want to thank, since she's here, Kathy Beard, who did an excellent job arranging that. There were great exhibits inside the Mobile Museum. I'm going to brag because there was a citizenship test. I got all 10 right. I took the test again and I got all 10 right again. So I think I qualify as a citizen, but I thought that was a great test. I watched some of the kids take the test and a few of them got things wrong that they shouldn't have. So we'll have to work on that as another thing. But it was a great event. I thought it was wonderful. The Virginia Whalers were there, the Caroline Historical Society, the Port Royal Historical Society. 50 or 60 people, I think, went through in the time that I was there. And it was open for students on Friday and for the general public on Saturday. It's a great event. Maybe we can get them back again, but I'd like to see it. And on that note, I thought of one other thing I'd like the county to get behind, and maybe we can get the schools behind too, but we're going to celebrate the 250 year of the Declaration of Independence. And I thought it would be a nice idea if we put a time capsule here at the community center somewhere. We could get the historical societies to put something in. We could ask maybe sixth graders if they could write an essay about what they thought the county would be like in 50 years. And then when we're all here in 2076, we could have the time capsule open and see what it's like. The reason I say sixth graders is they're probably 10, they'll be close to 60 by then, and they'd probably be the ones that could see it. But I think it's, an idea. If the board agrees, we'll, kind of work it through tourism and the schools and see if we can make that happen, and probably do something in August after the fourth celebration here so we can include whatever we have there. But I thought that would be a nice thing to do where we could work together. And lastly, attended the business appreciation reception last week, which was a great event. We want to say again, thank you to all of the small businesses in Caroline, all of the businesses in Caroline for what they do to make Caroline what it is. Without them, we couldn't survive. On that note, Mr. Wilson and I met with a constituent of mine who was representing a small home-based business and said the county needs to do a little bit more to help those businesses get off to a good start, I guess. So Mr. Wilson and I have committed to some sort of a small business roundtable. We're going to start with the women's group or the women's business group who has been working with Mr. Wilson. to try to make sure that we reach out to folks and make sure they understand all the resources the county has to make them successful. And I believe that is it for my comments. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Underwood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a couple. First, I'd like to extend my condolences to Mr. Black on the loss of his father and Mr. Shebel on the loss of his mother over the past week. Certainly, we are here for you should you need anything from us, so our condolences. One of my constituents, Miss Kimberly Morris, who is the great niece of Luther Morris, she contacted the Historical Society, and they were able to register the old Dawn School that's back in the woods as a historic site, and they will be putting together a state highway marker for the old Dawn School, and not where the community center was, but there is a 2-room school back in the woods in Dawn. That was the original old Dawn School that they will be recognizing. So I want to get with Ms. Beard, and we're going to work with them to make sure that we have a nice celebration for them in putting this together. Over the past few weeks, I've had several citizen comments about the tax rate, and people are hurting. The inflation rate is driving people to a point of people don't know where their next dollar is coming from. And I'm concerned that we, the board, did not look at cutting expenses and cutting debt. We have a list of items that we're scheduled to purchase. And I think we should go back and look at that budget again to make sure that there are not items that we can hold off for a year, at least a year, to maybe save us $1 million. I looked at it and I was able to go through the budget and cut over $1 million that I don't think would have any impact. I'd like to see this board go back and talk about it and institute an emergency ordinance that we don't spend any money unless it's absolutely necessary during the next 12 months until this crisis is over, to make sure that we don't hinder our taxpayers and we don't continue to grow our government and not be able to look at our citizens and say that we're doing all we can to help them through this crisis. We've approved several data centers over the last few months, and we've talked about spending the money and purchasing and building and buying, but have we thought about rebating a 2-cent tax per data center back to the citizens? If the data centers are going to generate millions of dollars, then why don't we reward the taxpayers who are going to see higher tax bills because of electricity, higher real estate bills because the value of their land has gone up? Why don't we take a look and say, for every data center that comes to the county, we put money back in the pockets of our taxpayers rather than continue to grow government and purchase and buy, and we continue to get larger. I think it's time that we look at this to make sure that we're doing all we can and we're responsible to the people who give their hard-earned dollars to ensure that Caroline County is the absolute best it can be. Last Saturday, there was a balloon show over at Metal Event Park. And I'll tell you, I drove by and it was absolutely awesome. It was unbelievable. The number of people who were there. And I talked to Marlene today, and She didn't have her numbers, how many people attended, but she told me she was very excited. It was an outstanding event. And once again, it puts Caroline County on the map. I saw it on Channel 6 News, Channel 8 News. It just shows the diversity within the county and the number of things that Caroline County has to offer that you don't always get in other counties. So I was very pleased that that occurred. I did not attend the economic department business dinner, but I heard it was outstanding. I had surgery that day, so I wasn't able to attend. And just for the record, on June the 9th, I have a second surgery, so I will not be attending the board meeting on June 9th. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Underwood. Mrs. Long?
I will try to keep my comments moving here and say that I did attend the History Museum also, but I did not go later that evening. Kathy was nice enough to let my husband and I go through early to see that, and I missed one on the test. So I got to study some more too. And also attended down at Dahlgren the GWRC economic conference, which was a great conference. We had some really good speakers and got to see some things. I got to play with a 3D computer screen, which was really sort of cool, taking a heart, sort of moving it around, but you're not really, there's no heart really there. It was very interesting. So I enjoyed that day. And we continue to serve on committees. GWRC is coming up again for our monthly meetings, and we keep working on that and keep moving forward as best we can to be fair to everybody. In reference to the rebate idea, certainly that's something we could think about, but we must remember that these data centers are not going to be here anytime real soon. We've still got a lot to go before we get there. So we will continue to watch our pennies and do the best we can and still provide services for our citizens. Thank you, Mr. Seeley.
Thank you, Mrs. Long. I've got a number of comments. First, I also attended the Business Appreciation Dinner. It was extremely well done. I also attended the 250th reception. The line was too long for the citizenship test, Mr. Thomas, so I didn't take it that when I went through. It's interesting, the folks that were interested in actually doing that. I'd like to invite everybody to the Memorial Day annual commemorative event on the courthouse lawn, which the county partners with the American Legion and the town of Bowling Green. It is Monday, May 25th, courthouse lawn at 11 a.m. And this year's speaker will be Chairman Clay Forehand, and recognizing 4 stories from Caroline County, 4 citizens who paid the ultimate price for freedom. I want to thank Reverend Marvin Fields from Second Mount Zion in helping me actually locate one individual, Sherman Williams Gregory from Dawn, who went to First Mount Calvary Baptist Church. We actually were able to find his family through Pastor Fields and are in the process of creating a file of pictures to donate to the Caroline Historical Society. His family is bringing those. It should be very interesting. His story is nothing short of heroic, and I think anybody that comes to listen will be very, very surprised at what these folks from Caroline have actually done. And the minister from First Mount Calvary will do the invocation on Memorial Day, the Pastor Harris. So we have selected 4 individuals, the first one being Sherman William Gregory from the Vietnam War. We have a pilot from Bowling Green, died over Italy in 1943, Tommy Hay. We also have from Schumansville, Lower Caroline, whose uniform is also in the Caroline Historic Society, died in the Battle of the Argonne Forest in 1918. His mother raised the money to return his body to Mount Hermon, which in 1918 had to be very difficult to do. And last at least, we have a Revolutionary War hero from the Battle of Great Bridge that it's William Woodford, who many folks probably don't realize his participation, but he'd been in Carolina a very long time and had fought in many events leading up to the Revolutionary War. So I'm hoping everybody will come hear some of the actual heroes from Caroline County. And with that, I'm going to close opening board comments. Any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Mr. Chairman, before you do that, is
Sure.
it possible to add the time capsule for the
Sure.
300?
You want to do it under new business 5A?
Just an evaluation to say if the board wants to move forward to it.
Sure.
Yes.
Time capsule.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. The agenda is adopted. The first is a presentation of a resolution commemorating the courage and preservation of Richard and Mildred Loving through the placement of an informational sign in conjunction with the acceptance of the Caroline County Historic Courthouse campus into the U.S. Civil Rights Trail. Kathy, do you have anything you want to say? You sure? I thought you were sitting there. You'd certainly.
I really don't have much to say other than Peggy and I served as trustees together at St. Stephen's Church. She was the one who always double checked my math. So yeah, she's shaking her head. That's why I always missed the first quarter of the football game. But no, I really don't. I've never said Mildred Loving before. It was always Mrs. Loving. That's the way it was for me and the way it was for my generation. If you saw somebody older, they were Mrs. whatever. And Mrs. Loving was the sweetest person I knew, quiet, unassuming. I don't know where she got that inner strength to make sure what she wanted happened. But knowing her daughter, I guess it passed down. So it's really great that we finally make this honor to a well-deserving couple for the struggles they went through. So, Mr. Sealy, you've got the resolution.
With that, I will read the resolution. A resolution celebrating the courage and perseverance of Richard and Mildred Loving through the inclusion of the Caroline County Historic Courthouse campus in the U.S. Civil Rights Trail. Whereas the United States Civil Rights Trail, which links over 100 historic markers across 15 states that were pivotal in the 1950s and 1960s civil rights movement, provides visitors with a tangible educational experience of Black history and the fight for social justice. And whereas the Civil Rights Trail includes the essential and sacred sites of the movement, including, amongst many others, the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, I'm going to say Tennessee, the F.W. Woolworth's building in Greensboro, North Carolina, Little Rock Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. Whereas on February 14th, 2026, the extraordinary nationwide civil rights impact of Caroline County natives Richard and Mildred Loving was further recognized and honored by the acceptance of the Caroline County Historic Courthouse campus into the United States Civil Rights Trail. And whereas The county courthouse campus located in the town of Bowling Green consists of the historic courtroom in the courthouse, the former county sheriff's office, the historic Poly Jail, and the Richard and Mildred Loving Historical Marker. Whereas these structures bear witness to a pivotal moment in the history of the United States and the arrest of Richard and Mildred Loving, a couple whose courage and resolve gave rise to the Loving versus Virginia 1967 landmark Supreme Court ruling that unanimously ruled states' bans on interracial marriage unconstitutional and struck down the remaining anti-misogynist laws in 16 states. And whereas Richard and Mildred Loving never viewed themselves as heroes, wanted to simply marry and raise their children at home in Caroline County amongst family and friends. Through their dignity and strength of purpose, they demonstrated for all the transformative powers of one family's quiet determination. Whereas the inclusion of these sites in the United States Civil Rights Trails and placement of the Richard and Mildred Loving State Historical Marker on the Caroline County Courthouse honors their legacy and reflects a commitment to ensure that our Commonwealth's and nation's civil rights history is cherished and preserved. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Caroline County Board of Supervisors hereby celebrates the courage and perseverance of Richard and Mildred Loving through the inclusion of the Caroline County Historic Courthouse Campus in the United States Civil Rights Trail, and hereby encourages current and future generations to understand and value the significance of the site of the Commonwealth of Virginia and the United States of America. Adopted this 12th day of May 2026, signed by Charles M. Cully Jr., Clerk of the Board, and Clay Forehand, Chairman. You have them come up. If you all would come up. Well, yeah.
This should be fun. Hey, want to make a statement first? I thought that could even.
Is it better to go down?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Should we go down? You're welcome for any comments. All right, we are on to the consent agenda. Any item anyone wishes to remove to be further discussed?
Don't wish to pull one, Mr. Chair, but we want to highlight B, which is EMS Week in Caroline County. I think the chief is here.
Chief, you want to say anything about
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Underwood?
can we pull item A?
Sure. Go ahead, Chief.
May 17th through the 23rd is EMS week, and we'll be recognizing our EMS providers here in the county through a variety of means. The department will give them a small gift, token of our appreciation for that. We'll have lunch at some of the stations. We'll be doing slushies for the employees, along with the hospital. So each of the EMS rooms, I think it's really loud. Each of the EMS rooms at the hospital will have gifts and kind of food snacks for the employees during that period. So EMS is driving our system today, so it's good for those folks that are running all the calls to get some recognition for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Underwood, we've pulled
Yeah,
a,
Mr. Chairman, just wanted to update the citizens. Last meeting, one of my constituents discussed the minutes that were not up to date. And I just wanted to mention that they're being updated and we're using a new platform, an AI platform, to help us update those. So those should be caught up very shortly.
thank you, Mr. Underwood. Anything else? Because at this point, I'll take a motion.
There was one, Mr. Underwood mentioned the minutes. There was one of the minutes that had a motion but no second listed. And I think we'll caught those, but just in case somebody's seeing them while they're saying draft, there are corrections.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve the consent as presented, and that's it.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Thomas, a second from Mr. Underwood. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We do have a closed meeting since we're to this point in the meeting, and it would be nice to get a jump on some of those items. Do you have a preference as to which ones, or do we want to read them all and then come back and then, because I don't know, if you think we can get through them all, that's fine. We
We
can't,
got six.
7:30.
We got 6 items.
I got 4. Maybe some of them are doubles.
Personnel. Okay.
Sorry, just to clarify, the 6 exemptions listed in the agenda, some of those, some of the topics have multiple exemptions. So there's 4 topics for closed session. I don't know, it's possible to potentially get through all of them. I don't know.
All right, well, let's try.
We'll try. Mr. Thomas, you want to
Make the
read?
motion. I'm not gonna read all that, but I'll read what we need to.
Do you want me, I can read it if you'd like.
Okay.
I'm up here already.
You don't have to read it. You don't have to read every word.
Right.
I'll read them.
Yeah, because we can't do public comment till 7:30, so we should
Right.
go ahead and
So you got
start this.
45 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, Mr.
this
McKenzie.
is the closed meeting motion. So the motion would be to move the board to convene a closed meeting pursuant to the real estate exemption of section 2.2 3711A3 of the Code of Virginia for discussion with county staff regarding the acquisition of real estate by the county in the Ladysmith area for the potential expansion of county offices. Second, the prospective business, investment of public funds, and contract exemptions of section 2.2 3711A5, A6, and A29 of the Code of Virginia to discuss the potential expansion of an existing business in the Reedy Church District and a VEDP grant agreement relating thereto, about which no previous public announcements have been made, and where discussion in open session would adversely affect the financial interest and bargaining position of the county. Third, the legal and litigation exemptions of sections 2.2, 3711, A7, and A8 of the Code of Virginia for updates on pending APA appeal and on the pending APA appeal involving the county and DEQ, a tax collection lawsuit relating to property in the Port Royal District, and a lawsuit involving county fire and EMS, where such consultation in open meeting would adversely affect the litigating posture of the county. And last, fourth, the cybersecurity exemption of 2.2, 3711, A19 of the Code of Virginia for discussion with staff regarding specific cybersecurity threats or vulnerabilities relating to the county's computing network, where discussion in open meeting would jeopardize the safety and security of the county's IT system. So that is the motion, Mr. Thomas.
That's my motion. Thank you.
Second.
Mr. McKenzie, it will be okay if Mr. Forehand joins us because he said he'll be here at 7 going in.
Yes, yeah, you have a quorum, you can move it into closed meeting, and we would just, if he joins the closed meeting, he would need to join the certification coming out of closed
Correct.
meeting.
Everybody's heard the motion and the second. Mr. Underwood, did you second?
Yes.
So I have a motion from Mr. Thomas, a second from Mr. Underwood. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. We are now in closed session. We will return as close to 7:30 as we can. we're going to start on number 3. Yeah. I'm going to move that the Caroline County Board of Supervisors certify that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from the open meeting requirement by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting to which this certification applies, and only such public business matters as identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the board.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor to come out of closed session, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we must certify that only business matters lawfully exempted from the closed session were discussed. Mr. Black? do you
I so certify.
Mr. Thomas?
I so certify.
I so certify. Mr. Seeley?
I so certify.
I
Ms.
so
Long?
certify.
And Mr. Underwood?
I so certify.
All right, with that, we are officially out of closed session. We'll move on to public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone that wants to speak on a topic not under consideration by the board or or part of a scheduled public hearing. You may come up. You have 3 minutes to discuss what you'd like. So anyone that wants to come up, come on up. If you would state your name and your voting district if it's in the county.
Pamela Taylor, Caroline County, Virginia, District. What?
Western
I'm
Carolina.
in Lake Landor.
Okay,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
Western Carolina.
I'm sorry. First, forgive me. Just got a tooth pulled, so I sound kind of funny. Like I said, I'm Pamela Taylor, Lake Landor. I'm the advocate of Aqua Water, Aqua Virginia. I just want to give a quick recap what's going on. April 28th, we went to the SEC hearing, which went great. We had great bunch residents, great support. We went down there. We had our voice, and I believe we were heard. Sometimes you don't get everything that you want, but we are progressing. Aqua has stepped up. They have dedicated a page just for us. It's very detailed. It shows everything that they're doing, the process they're doing, complaints, the very quick response, being responsive. They're actually flushing right now. They're flushing Heritage. They flushed Heritage last week. They flushed both sides. They call it the west and the east. This week they are doing Lake Landor side. So far, no issues. They did something different. We're not quite sure, but we're very pleased. We haven't had the sediment come into our homes, and the constant contact. I'm not saying they really care for me too much, but they're very respectful, and I'm respectful for them. So we're going forward. We've come a long way. We're very proud of what we've done or are doing, and I'm just very grateful for transportation to allow us to use the bus, the yellow bus, down to the SCC. That's pretty much it. We're moving forward. Everything's looking good. Actually, real quick, they are 2 representatives from Aqua's coming to our board meeting tomorrow to discuss. It's called a water work group. That way, these group of people, which I will be part of, will have constant communication and make sure they're keeping on their toes. We're not backing off. So I greatly appreciate all y'all's support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
You're very welcome.
Anyone else like to speak? Open topic. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Chris Payton. I'm Resource Development Officer for the Thurman Brisbane Homeless Shelter, which Caroline County has long supported, and we thank you for that. The board, staff, and residents of the Brisbane Center cannot thank the people of Caroline County enough for funding our work on homelessness. With me today is our new CEO, David Kisselback, and Community Relations Director, Alice Stanton, who are looking forward to meeting you and exploring ways to reduce and eliminate the homelessness throughout our region. Here is one description of what homelessness looks like among our Caroline neighbors. Jasmine, a Caroline resident, entered the Brisbane Center with 2 daughters, ages 11 and 13. She had been a resident at the center 4 years previously, but once again found herself in financial straits with no place to turn. Jasmine had just been evicted from her housing because she could no longer afford the rent. Even though she was working full-time, it was not enough to cover expenses. The cost of childcare was particularly burdensome. She went without health insurance in order to pay for car insurance. She needed that car to get to work and daycare. Jasmine was ineligible for most services as, believe it or not, she made too much money to qualify for them. And yet she struggled mightily to afford the most basic of needs. When she again entered the Brisbane Center, she was discouraged, but with our support and encouragement, she became determined to break the cycle of homelessness for herself and her children. She listened to her case manager, availed herself of our programs, and did the hard, necessary work. She learned how to budget and how to pay off debt while building a savings account. She got a better paying job in a real estate office. She began teaching her children financial responsibility and the setting and achieving of goals. When Jasmine and her daughters exited after 8.5 months, it was not only to housing she could now afford, but to a life that was fiscally sound, thriving, and with a bright future on the horizon. Over 80% of the Brisbane Center's revenue is from individuals, faith communities, businesses, civic organizations, and private foundations. 2,300 volunteers help us help families like Jasmine's each year. We love our struggling neighbors by teaching them to fish for themselves. This is not only the right thing to do, our approach is effective, as evidenced by the success of Jasmine and her daughters and countless others. With your support, these miracles will continue unabated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm back again. Good evening. My name is Travis Richardson. I'm from Athletes for Awareness and Team Loaded. First, I want to thank the BOS of Caroline County for just their generous donations over the years. I'm here to ask again for another generous donation as Team Loaded girls will be playing in the national tournament in Louisville, Kentucky again this summer. And I'm asking for a donation and probably more of a donation due to the fact that we won the tournament last year and we were invited back to the tournament, and the tournament is a week-long tournament. We'll be there July 8th through the 14th. I also have Shyla Tiller, who is a multi-sport athlete at Caroline Middle School, 8th grader. She plays on my 14U national team. They will be in Louisville, Kentucky with us also from the 8th through the 14th. So just kind of asking for an increase in funds if possible. Just to help with the families. A lot of the families, they can't go due to the fact that it's being a week and taking off from work. And, we just want to help try to offset some of the costs for these young ladies and everything as far as 15 passenger vans, travel, and food. We will be in Louisville, Kentucky for a whole week playing in front of 1,300 schools, and it'll be 1,000 teams there. And I just want to, just help put these young ladies in the best position to be successful and move on to the next level where they want to be at. And I'm just asking for a generous donation. Like I said, I appreciate the donations over the years, and just asking for a little bit more just to help some of these girls, in particular Shyla Tiller, with travel and, things like that. All right.
Thank you.
Remember what we gave last year? I think he gave us $2,000 last year. And also I sent a picture to Mr. Thomas so y'all can see the team that won the championship. We're there with the trophy and everything. Like I said, we've been invited back, and the cost gonna be a little higher. Everything is a little higher in America, but cost is gonna be a lot higher. All right.
Kayla Venny was on your team last year.
Kayla Venny, yes. Kayla Venny was on my team. Algene Borhe was on my team also last year. And Kayla's about to graduate. Algene is going to be a senior next year. Yes. And Kayla's going to James Madison. She just committed to James Madison.
She gonna play at James Madison?
I don't know. She wants to run track. She hurt her knee over the summer.
Yeah,
So she
I'm her
didn't get,
volleyball coach,
yeah,
so I was
yeah,
very
she
acutely
didn't,
aware.
yeah, she didn't get a chance to participate. And, so I don't know if she's gonna run track at James Madison. I know she aspires to run track, but, she just wanted to go to school, I guess kind of get out of Carolina and see what the world has to offer.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you much.
Coach, you just sent the picture, 7:30.
Yes,
What does this mean?
that's the L for loaded. So when
Okay.
we take pictures, we put up the L for team loaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't put it there.
No, just don't put it there. Just don't put it there. No losers. No losers. We never lose. We learn. We learn from everything.
All right, I'll pass the picture around to the rest of the board. Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all much.
And
Thank you.
maybe you wanna wait till then, maybe we could address him once you finish public comment. Go ahead and finish public comment.
All right, anyone else like to speak?
Don't leave, Coach. Don't leave.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Brogan. I'm a resident of the Western District. It was remarked in this room earlier this year that concerned residents are simply Monday morning quarterbacking and the decisions of this body. I've done the math, and it appears that Monday morning was exactly 427 days ago when it comes to this issue. While I appreciate the sentiment, it is difficult to quarterback a game when the board hasn't published the play-by-play for over a year. Earlier tonight, you moved to approve minutes from January through April of this year. While this is a necessary step, we must address the standard of care. On January 13th, 2026, this board adopted its rules of procedure. Under those protocols, minutes are expected to be processed and presented for approval within 30 days. By waiting until mid-May to approve minutes from January, this board has been in continuous violation of its own adopted standards for the entirety of this year. The law is clear. Virginia Code Section 2.2-3707H requires a written summary of our government's actions. A video recording is not a legal substitute for the minutes. For 427 days, this county operated without that essential record. An $800 AI platform was eventually used to bridge this gap, proving the remedy was always accessible and affordable. I anticipate the response may be that the county administrator handles the minutes. However, Virginia Code Section 15.2-1411 makes it clear that the board, and only the board, is legally responsible for ensuring the duties of the clerk are fulfilled. You are the governing body. You are the ones who voted for the 30-day rule, and you are the ones the law holds accountable for this 427-day lapse. To suggest otherwise is a misunderstanding of the very code you are sworn to uphold. We deserve clear answers on two fronts. What is the specific timeline for the production and approval of missing minutes from 2025? What structural changes are being made to ensure the 30-day rule you voted for in January is actually followed moving forward? I'm aware that Section 4-2 of your rules states that it's not a question and answer period. However, those same rules provide you with the authority to waive the restrictions by a majority vote or at the discretion of the chair. Given the severity of a 427-day failure to maintain the public record, I am calling on each of you to address these points tonight. I'm here to ensure the record is restored. Should the board deem it fit to discuss these facts further, I will gladly remain at the podium to answer any questions you may have regarding the information I presented. Thank you.
The second item, the timeline for the production, what was the second item? I was writing down the first.
The second item. Oh, yes. What structural changes are being made to ensure the 30-day rule you voted for in January is actually followed moving forward?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else like to speak? Come on up. Seeing none, I will go ahead and close public comment.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we don't normally reply to requests, but Coach Richardson has come as he's come before and asked for a donation. I think his time is short. So I'd like us to discuss that. Is it possible we could double the donation? Gave 2,000 last year. He's got more people going for longer. Defending champions. Is it possible we could make it a $4,000 donation?
A little higher than I had thought.
Yeah, I think, and I don't mind going up some, but I don't, just because there are more kids going from other areas, I don't know if with the economy like it is right now, we need to double it, but I think we certainly could go up. We gave them 2 last year. When I could go maybe with 3, but I don't think I want to double it. We got other charities we have like Bisbee, we have to fund also. So
Yeah, just real quickly, Coach Richardson, how much private fundraising have you done? I mean, how much of these, I don't know the cost.
Yeah. Throughout the teams, we do fundraisers. We've been keeping the clocks in the books at tournaments. We've done the Money Dolly fundraiser, so we have been raising funds outside of just asking people for funds.
So what is, just out of curiosity, you must know, what's the total cost of this trip?
I want to say around 13,000.
Are you asking for just kids and coaches?
Yeah, that's what you're fundraising for, the kids and the coaches.
Kids and coaches.
Yeah.
I don't pay for parents. No way, no how. It's too expensive to add parents. Yeah.
and do you have students from other schools, or are they all Caroline students?
No, it's students from other schools also. Yes.
And then you're going to other counties and asking for funds too?
Yeah, we do. We do ask. I get those girls that's in on certain counties. They ask for funds. You know, sometimes we get them. Sometimes we don't. You know, more of the times we don't. They really, a lot of them don't really like to fund the basketball, and in particular the girls and everything. So, you know, I just go with what I have. You know, sometimes I use a lot of my own money, you know, just to help the girls out and everything. A lot of the girls, well, some of the girls, I'm not gonna say a lot. Some of the girls, they, you know, families are just, you know, have financial problems and everything. And not saying I'm rich by no stretch of the imagination, but you know, I continue to invest in the youth. You know, my goal is to see these young ladies, you know, go to the next level, whether it be academically or athletically. So, you know, I don't mind using my own funds.
And sometimes sports is the only way to get access to that next level.
That's the only way.
It is ironic though, Coach, that the WNBA just went through a big salary scale where they increased their salary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was overdue. It was overdue. Now they got to show improvement. You know.
Great. I'm gonna make a motion that we donate $3,000 to the girls basketball program called
Team Loaded.
Team Loaded.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Coach, I just have one thing. Are these girls, I mean, here's my thing, and I have no problem, you know, giving this money, but are these girls like helping out with like our Parks and Rec, I mean, so forth, as far as, or in the schools with, you know, other programs to help other players too?
So
are they giving back their time, in other words? So we're helping them. Are they coming back and like helping out like our Parks and Rec program, you know, with giving their own time to help others because they're being helped? I mean,
yes. So when we have camps that we have throughout the, you know, in the summer, and we have the Thanksgiving camp that we have, and they come and work the camp also. So when we have camps, I make sure that they come work the camps and everything. They give back to the youth.
And make sure you coordinate with Parks and Rec too.
Yes, I also do that also. Yes.
Okay.
And even when I have my events, my Athletes for Awareness events, like my kids play Park and Rec for Caroline, and I also let the kids in free, give kids tickets to the events and everything. So yeah, I do my part in giving back and making sure that, you know, the girls and team know to give back also.
And I forgot to write down, did you say how many girls were going from Caroline?
Shala Tiller. Just the one.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Didn't you have like 3 last year?
Yeah. Kayla Vini, she's graduating, so she's not eligible to play. anymore as far as AAU. Aljean Borge, she was going to play, but she decided not to play because she's going back to the Philippines for the summer. So that right there, you know, just kind of excluded her and her family. They're going back to the Philippines for the summer. The others just didn't want to play. And I think it's one more that plays for another program.
Now, it's gonna be good when you go to Spotsylvania and say Caroline gave 3,000, y'all should give more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank
Thank
y'all
you, sir.
much. Thank y'all so much.
All right, we have item number 3, public hearing on the Virginia Department of Transportation fiscal year 2027 to 2032 secondary system 6-year improvement plan.
So, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. At our last meeting, we had a discussion on the secondary 6-year plan. So we're bringing this to you again. This year, the Transportation Committee reviewed this, recommended that Jeter Road be given some funds to complete a, what is it, a 0.3 section of roads to bring into the secondary system. And with me tonight is Mr. Richard Spurlock, who is our VDOT rep. The total cost of this project would be about $135,000, and it will be funded over a course of a couple of years of this secondary 6-year plan. As you're aware, we get limited funding for this program, and so we don't have a lot of opportunity to make some improvements to it, but we did identify Jeter Road and recommend it be included. Rick, is there anything you want to add to that?
Good evening, Rick Spurlock, VDOT Fredericksburg residency. Like he said, it is funded Jeter Road through 2028, but I just ask you to remember that is actually July of 27, so we could probably do this project next year. And it's already in the secondary system. It has a route number, so we would just be doing a rural rustic, they call it, to bring it up to surface treatment, add any pipes and stuff like that needs to happen.
Mr. Speaker, man, if I may. Yes, sir. Mr. Spurlock, the funding source we have listed is telecommunications district grant. Is that what?
Correct. The district grant is unpaved road funds, and that has to be used on an unpaved road like this one. The telecommunication fees are what you get most of. So that's a little more, the funding is a little more lenient or whatever, but that you get more of that every year than unpaved.
But the telecommunications fee is a category from VDOT, not
that's
somewhere else, or is that from our cell phones and?
That is from utility companies that are in our right of way. They have to like pay a fee to be there, and we apportion that back out to the counties based on population and that sort of thing.
Thank you, sir. I was just trying to figure out where it was coming from, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks. Mr. Spurlock, as part of your 6-year plan, my concern is that most of the roads in the rural areas are non-standard, meaning they're not wide enough. Don't you think we need to have part of our programs to add additional siding to the road, shoulders to some of the more traveled roads? It's a real problem when you have so many trucks and vehicles trying to pass. And most of the roads on the shoulder, you got a 3 to 6 inch drop on those major roads, but yet we're not doing anything to take care of this and alleviate these issues. And it's not going to be taken care of until we either add shoulder and have a major project through the county to give additional space on these shoulders.
Are these on current VDOT roads or private roads?
No, VDOT roads, these are,
So this type of funding for secondary 6-year plan is for like new construction projects.
right, I understand.
That would be done through our maintenance, and I'm sure they're looking at a lot of places around the county and around the district to spend money like that. Right now, it seems like the big focus has been potholes and, you know, roads that have deteriorated because of the winter months. So I would have to talk to our maintenance manager to see what kind of plans they have for that and get back with you.
But it clearly says in the 6-year plan that hardening surfaces and widening is included as part of the plan.
I think that's widening of roadways itself. Like if you've got a 8-foot road, widen it out to 10 feet and things like that.
So you say that's only primary roads?
No, only secondary roads.
Only secondary, I mean, excuse me,
Correct.
only secondary.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I just think we need to have some conversations about the roads that are in the county because they're just getting worse because of the amount of truck traffic we have, and it's not getting any better for the everyday citizen.
Understood.
But thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Underwood.
Beforehand.
Mrs. Long?
I have to ask a question. I have a question on your rural rustic. Could you do it? I've asked this before, but would you look up Mudville Road and sort of put that on your flasher lights for maybe next year, please? Because I asked like 2 years ago. So would appreciate that.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, this is public hearing, so we will need to open up public hearing, see if there's any comments for that. If y'all would have a seat, don't go far. Nope. All right, we'll open up public hearing, item number 3, the Virginia Department of Transportation Secondary 6-year plan. Public hearing is open. If you have any comments on this item, you have 3 minutes to come and discuss. Don't everybody rush at once. It's a very interesting topic. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment, and I think we need to disposition this one way or another.
I can do that, Mr. Chair, but I wanted to ask Mrs. Spurlock a question
Ms.
before
Spurlock, you got one more question for you?
Kyle Bates left us a couple of months ago by now, or is it last month?
Right.
The gentleman next to you is his replacement?
Yes, it is.
Would you introduce him to us, please?
I was going to do that. I just didn't know when to do it. This is Mr. Walter Burke, and he comes to us from Fairfax Residency. So I'll let him say a word.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, and county staff. I'm the new resident engineer for Fredericksburg Residency. My name is Walter Burke. Come with a wide variety of experience with VDOT. Worked in the Culpeper District and Warrenton Residency, so got a good mixture of urban and rural environment, and then spent about 2 to 3 years up in Fairfax, assisting the maintenance program up there. So very excited to begin working with you all here. We'll be reaching out to you, Mr. Underwood, to see kind of what concerns you have for the shoulders, so we can kind of address those going forward. After this meeting, I plan to send you all an email with my contact information. Please feel free to reach out. I'm very big on open communication and responsiveness. So anything you all need involved around the Virginia Department of Transportation, I'm happy to help. So,
Mr. Burke, before you leave.
Yes, sir.
There has been a tradition that the VDOT resident engineers pass along the same phone number.
Okay.
Do you have the same phone number?
I actually have a different phone number.
I'll be in touch with you tomorrow.
Blew the tradition. I was going to say, we've got your number, but we don't.
Yeah, because Kyle's number was the same as the number before, so.
Yep. Yes, I have a new office phone and cell phone, and I'll be sending that out to you tomorrow morning.
Tried to trick us, all right.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you and welcome.
Mr. Chair, with regards to the one item we have on the secondary 6-year program for $135,000, I would make a motion that we move ahead.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion carries. All right, next we have item number 4, unfinished business, SO 01/2025, an ordinance to amend the Caroline County subdivision ordinance related to family divisions. Mr. Hughes.
While we wait,
He's trying to get the phone.
we wait for Mr. Hughes, I'll take this second to tell him and his staff, thank you very much. I know this is the second time they've gone through this subdivision ordinance for us and worked on it. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, because some of it's a little bit over my head as far as all the qualifications and that type of thing, but it's definitely better and more updated than what we had before, and I appreciate staff's hard work on it.
Mr. Chairman, I thought we'd finished this and actually gone to public hearing. We did, so it's not my, because I was reading this going, so what's the update?
So the only update is the last item I think that was outstanding was the definition of immediate family. After our last discussion, there were 2 items that you all raised. One was the potential of a time period for construction of a house. We had a discussion about that, and then the other was including aunt and uncle in the definition of immediate family. So from our perspective, that last item is the outstanding item, and you can dispose of it at your leisure. And just to recap, our proposed definition did not include aunt and uncle in the definition, and the Code of Virginia does allow the board to set that definition, and you may include those individuals or you may not.
So we need.
Did you?
I'm sorry, just trying to.
But didn't we discuss aunts and uncles as a special? Or did we not? I thought
We did.
We discussed that.
You discussed it,
That we
and I think the council's conclusion was that it should be included in the definition if you wanted to.
So rather than special exception,
Right.
go ahead and include it in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we've made it restrictive enough to prevent abuse.
Right.
And I think that's the real issue. I thought we wanted to have aunts and uncles to be as open to family members, but the issue was it's being abused in your area. So as long as we stop the abuse, it was no problem in adding aunts and uncles to me.
Well, we weren't able to stop that because we can't do it by special exception.
But he's got, what is it, a 5-year period and then a 10-year period before you can get rid of it.
Yeah, so some of the highlights to recap of the proposal is to add a 5-year ownership period before you're eligible to do a family division. And then once the family division is created, then the receiver of that parcel would have to hold it for 10 years. And additionally, those parcels cannot be further divided. So any parcel that is created via the family division method cannot be further divided.
Was that a change?
That is a new item, yes.
Okay.
And then the other.
All right. All right.
And then the other items are the minimum lot sizes. We removed the provision that allowed you to do 2 acres or half the original size or half of the lot. So now they have to be the minimum lot size of the district, which in RP is 10 acres. In the River Overlay District, that's 25 acres.
Okay. Do we have to go back to public hearing? We can just amend this with.
You just need to take a vote, yes.
What we adopt?
So
I'll make a motion that we adopt SO 01/2025, the subdivision ordinance.
Second.
Mr. McKenzie, do we need to be specific about what changes we're just voting on?
As amended and presented.
Yeah, if you want anything other than what's in your packet, you would need to make that change. You've got to redline your packet, and that's actually why I hopped up. The packet defines immediate family as any person who is natural or legally defined offspring, stepchild, spouse, sibling, grandchild, grandparent, or parent. Doesn't have uncles, aunts, nieces, and nephews. So that's the standard definition.
As amended would be aunts and uncles. We're not including nieces and nephews.
You would need to make that change from the dais.
That is my motion to make that change.
Okay.
That was part of the amended part. We didn't vote yet.
We didn't vote yet.
Did you make the second? Did you make the second? Okay.
All right, so we have a motion and a second that expands the definition of family to include aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews.
No, just
just
aunts and uncles.
Just aunts and
Just
uncles.
aunts and uncles. Aunts and-
And it
Maybe
has
family
Just
members.
aunts and uncles.
a 5-year time frame before you can do it.
And all the rest of the changes are actually in print. That's the only one that was not.
Correct.
If I'm understanding this correctly. Okay. All right,
We
motion
good.
and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Put that one in the rearview mirror. All right, next item is new business. Item number 5, proposed supplemental appropriations to fiscal year 2025-26 for the school budget. We have paperwork, and it's like Dr. Calverick. Dr. Farley. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, Chair Forehand, Vice Chair Seeley, members of the board, and Mr. Colley. I'm Dr. John Farley, Director of Budget and Finance for the school system. Tonight, I'm presenting the FY26 budget amendment, which reflects additional federal and state funds that have been awarded to the division since the adoption of the FY26 budget. The amendment does not include any additional requests for local funding from the county. This amendment establishes the budget authority needed to appropriately expend these funds in accordance with state and federal requirements. The amendment has been approved by the school board. This amendment includes 2 major components. In the special grant fund, we are requesting an increase of $552,702. And in the operating fund, we're requesting an increase of $1,980,150. In total, this amendment reflects over $2.5 million in additional funding, all of which is fully offset by corresponding expenditure authority. There's no fiscal impact to the locality, and no additional local dollars are being requested or required. Upon approval, we'll begin spending these funds immediately to ensure timely implementation, while also projecting any allowable carryover into FY27 to support continuity of program where appropriate. I'd be happy to answer any questions on the FY26 budget amendment request.
I just have a quick one. These are grants that are the result of your pursuits for that money for the items that are listed, correct?
Absolutely. VDOE produced several different grants that came into the FY26 school year. Several of them, particularly with the math implementation grants, came about this spring.
All right, awesome. Good news.
Absolutely.
Go ahead,
Ms. Long, excuse me.
So we're almost at the end of the school year. Are these funds going to be for purposes of next year's programs and planning? Because it's sort of late now to use them. Can you explain how you're going to use this?
That is a wonderful question. And each of the grants outlined in your document has a different end date. And so comprehensive literacy, state development grant, school improvement grant, math innovation, math acceleration grant, all were applied for and provided in the year 2026. And we need to spend down by the end of 2026, and each of them has a different date. So as Dr. Farley indicated, when we create our baseline FY27 budget, we will put the appropriate amount of budget authority that we have remaining in those grants within the special grant funding line. And then the second page, which is of course in a different category, which is more of the appropriation in the operating fund, Jobs for Virginia Graduates, that actually was a 2026 grant, and that has to be spent by May 15th, which sounds ludicrous. It feels ludicrous. It is ludicrous, but that is indeed the timeline that we have to spend down that $30,000. The standard of quality bonus, which I know we are all eagerly awaiting a state budget so we can take action on a local budget, that SOQ bonus, we needed to certify by May 1st that we indeed were going to use those funds. We did indicate that we would be utilizing those as a bonus in FY26. If we are not able to achieve that due to not necessarily having the local match or a more ideal scenario in FY27, we would come back and, of course, roll those forward into FY27 as those SOQ monies would be recertified for FY27 and have to be appropriated as a bonus during that time period. And then the all-in state funds, that must be spent down by June 30 of 2026. And so we're just looking for the budget authority we intend on spending down. So there is $0 remaining. We have a very meticulous plan to achieve that. And so we really just need the budget authority with no monetary connection to additional funds from the local entity.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes. I did have a question, and it was more about the process. When did the schools apply for these grants?
Each grant had its own timeline. It was fast and furious in the fall. I think if you were watching the Richmond Times-Dispatch or any of the local media, you saw that there was a drastic delay in the release of accreditation and accountability data. And because of that delay, the status of every school building indicated what you were eligible to apply for. So when the grants became available, we applied, of course, for our two most at-promise buildings, and we were able to be successful in those applications. But the money wasn't provided, of course, until that process completed. And so we have a very short window to actually utilize these funds from the state and to create positive change.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to know, and
Yes.
it doesn't seem at all fair that the state would say, here's a grant in the fall, and now it's May, they give you the money,
Correct.
and you have to spend it by June.
Correct.
That's undue stress on a lot of people.
That is actually feedback that VASS, the Virginia Association of State Superintendents, has provided, that the timeline and the application process are not productive or efficient to creating effective models that will create student achievement. And so they are working on that process and hoping to move up the accreditation and accountability timeline so it comes earlier. They have promised that by the first week of October, we will receive this school year's data. Still later than we need, but better than what we received this past year.
So have you spent any of this money? I mean, have you developed these programs, paid for them out of your own budget, and now you're going to use this money to repay yourself, basically?
No, you had grants last year.
We did. So I guess let me look at each of those and answer those differently, if that's helpful. So
Yeah.
for example, All In is a 3-year grant.
Right.
And it closes out on June 30.
And you had money
We
in
have been
24.
spending every single year. At the end of every year, we have to submit information to the state and modify our application to reflect our expenses. What we are asking for now, because when we created the FY26 budget, I think we only asked for about $300,000 of budget authority. But we are back to ask for that greater budget authority because we were able to move money around because we had so many grants. So something that we originally planned to pay for out of All In may actually have shifted to a different grant. And therefore we ended up having a larger pot that we could carry over to get us to that 3rd year so that we were able to use those monies over time more equitably versus going large in year 1, less in year 2, and minimal in year 3.
So
Is that helpful?
Kind of, sort of,
Okay.
without the whole list of
Yeah.
saying, in this particular grant, we spent money from our operating budget to take care of maybe tutoring or whatever.
Sure.
And now we've got $400,000 in tutoring, we're going to pay ourselves back. And again,
Right.
my point is, that puts undue stress on the locality in particular school system.
Sure.
Because you've got to keep track of that, and you're going to run into us who's saying, well, how are you going to spend that money? Where'd it go? We gave you X millions of dollars, and now here's $2 million with a month and a half to go in the school year.
Right.
It's unfair to everybody.
Right. And we have been spending a large portion of the monies in these grants because we knew we had a deadline. We have been moving forward with aligning professional learning, ensuring that those contracts can be in place for appropriate spend down. So if that's helpful, and I can certainly have, if you have a specific question about any of them, I can have Mrs. Stevens and Dr. Farley pull that together so you have some of those specifics. But there are extensive reporting requirements associated with all of them.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's
Any
more
other questions?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Mr. Underwood?
Dr. Calvert, of the 2.5, how much can you carry over to 26, 27 if you don't spend it?
Sure, and I don't know the actual number, Mr. Underwood, but I can tell you which grants can go beyond June 30, if that's helpful, and then we can do the math after.
Okay.
The Comprehensive Literacy State Grant goes forward beyond June 30. The school
How
improvement.
much is that?
That one is $219,604.
219.
The school improvement grant is $44,974, and
That's the one that can go into 26, 27, correct?
that one also can carry forward.
Okay.
Math innovation at $251,952. That was just awarded, and that can move beyond June 30. And these three that I just mentioned are for our most at promise buildings. So those three are associated with being at risk and or needing intensive support. The Math Acceleration Grant is more of a human resource benefit in that the state is requiring that greater amounts of advanced or accelerated mathematics is occurring. Well, you understand we are in a desert for educators, and not all educators have the requirements needed for licensure to teach advanced math. So we applied for a grant of $36,172 to expand licensure. That one I would have to get back with you on. I don't know if that has an expiration date of June 30.
I believe that one carries also.
Thank you. Turning the page to those that are in the operating fund, the Jobs for Virginia grant, that one does not, that has to be spent down by May 15th, and that's $30,000. The SOQ bonus, I've already explained, that's $464,445. That we had to certify that we would use by May 1st, and you had to identify whether you'd use that for SOQ bonuses in 26 or 27. We chose FY 26 because that gives you the greatest amount of flexibility. If we cannot achieve that, all we need to do is go back and recertify and choose the next option, which would be to use those funds in FY 27. Then the least desirable is if you can't find the local match associated with the SOQ bonus in FY 27, then you ultimately return those funds to the state, which is not what our goal is, nor I would imagine would be yours either. And then all in ends on June 30.
And how much do SOQ local match?
SOQ requires a local match. We are not requesting a local match because our ADM has declined and you've already provided that funding. And so we are not coming back and asking for a local match for that because we have that difference in what was appropriated already in FY 26. Good question.
So of the 2.5, I guess, looks like a little over $1 million you can carry over to 26, 27.
Ballpark, yes, sir.
Without, okay.
Yes, sir. And we would note that with natural budget authority within our baseline budget.
Correct.
Right. For FY 27.
All right, any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
While we discuss that, one last question. The funds that are going into operating, all in, the compensation supplement and other state, whatever, close to 2 million? What categories is that going in? Is it all instruction or instruction admin or?
So the bonus is a bonus line. The bonus money can only use for the bonus, so that's where it comes up in the chart of accounts.
Okay, but not in the chart of accounts, in the categories that the county appropriates by?
It would be under salary.
Where would that go in?
Salary.
by
It,
category?
it goes into salary for all of the categories that are associated with employee base.
So it'll go
So
across all categories?
anything that is a standard of quality FTE, wherever its natural home is, if it's administration or if it's instruction or if it's transportation, whatever the SOQ category is the category it goes into within the budget category.
So teachers that are not SOQ teachers wouldn't be part of this?
Not naturally, but one of the beauties that we have embraced is that when we give a bonus, we give a bonus to all employees. So that is something that we have committed to, because as we've gone down the rabbit hole of standards of quality before, you know, some of the positions are partially paid or rarely is it a full FTE. So it becomes really complex.
I have a question then. Go ahead, Mr. Underwood.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get, so is it all going to be placed in categories? I know you talked about the SOQ money, but I'm specifically talking about all of the money you're requesting. Do you have it broken out by category so that we?
We do. If you look at the item that was provided in the packet by
Right.
Mr. Parton, we have identified all of the school accounts and all of the county
At the
accounts.
bottom, I see, okay.
So you can see exactly the account that it is in for the school division. And we have nicely outlined
account, county
for
account, okay.
exactly for the county where that money would be placed to ensure alignment.
But as Mr. Farley said, this is the chart accounts number and not the 7 categories the county appropriates by. Right.
This is what is requested from your financial department in terms of submission for the agenda item.
Oh, that's what they requested, okay.
Yes, sir.
But it's still not categories the way the county appropriates funds.
That would be determined by standard of quality headers.
Okay.
Just beforehand. So some of this money has carried over from last year. Is that true?
The all-in funds is a 3-year grant.
I don't remember seeing anything that said there was carryover money from last year's budget to this year's budget. I guess I'm just confused how that happens.
Every year, we have to submit a report to the state. And I would have to refer back to Ms. Stevens to get specifics for you associated with those details. I don't have that with me tonight, Mr. Seeley.
So how does that get accounted for in the budget?
As I stated, I'll have to go back and ask Mrs. Stevens in relation to that.
Federal money is coming.
We report out on an annual basis to you in our February presentation. We report out to you all of our special grant monies. That is part of our annual fiscal year presentation. So those monies would be notated in that presentation specifically. And that is the only time that we are at the table with you to have that fiscal dialogue.
I just don't remember any of it saying it was carryover, I guess. I always thought that was new money, not anything carried over.
Well, it's written within the 3-year grant that it is permitted to be carried over. So it wouldn't be something that we would necessarily need to come back and have dialogue associated with. It would just roll forward in that baseline budget. But I can certainly have Mrs. Stevens answer more specific questions if you want to provide me with more detailed inquiry. But as we stated, this has been approved by the school board on April 13th. We are not asking for any new money. This is grant money that we have received. This is a positive scenario. We are using these monies to create positive change in our student base and to help support our staff's growth. And so tonight we are respectfully requesting that you move forward with providing that budget authority.
Mr. Thomas.
I had one question kind of related to what you said, Dr. Calvaric. You said the ADM wasn't what you expected it to be.
No, sir.
What was the difference?
Approximately 110, 120. So it's about $1.3 million of lost state funding that we had worked into our baseline budget.
Okay, you got the ADM in March.
March 31st.
So in the last 2 months, you've been working that loss into your budget?
Yes, we have frozen spending and we are analyzing all departments and making budget cuts where appropriate to ensure that we'll be able to be in the black at the end.
Okay, and some of this money will be used to fill that gap, or?
Oh, absolutely. Some of the things that we are able to do, for example, with the all-in grant, that has 3 buckets of money. It's tutoring, it's Virginia Literacy Act, and the third bucket is
Chronic
absenteeism. You are so correct.
I'm reading.
So for example, if we are paying out of local funds for a reading specialist, but we have a loss of ADM, we do have the ability to resubmit, and within 48 hours, the VDOE will review and provide feedback and or approval of a revision to all in. So we can shift monies from local money into the all in order to help us be certain that we can accommodate the 1.3 loss of revenue. And so those are things that we are absolutely having dialogue about.
So that kind of gets back to my original question. That would be a case where you paid for something and now you're using this grant money to pay yourself back.
Yes, you're right. That is a good example of exactly what you asked.
Okay.
And that is not something that we have been doing necessarily along the way with these grants, but it is obviously something that when you're facing a cut of 1.3, that you then begin to look at what are the different strategies we can use.
All right, motion.
I just have a question. Can I just ask you a question on the ADM part?
Yeah.
So on the
You want a
ADM
second
part,
question?
what's that?
Yeah, a second question.
First one was, can I ask a question?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes.
Ba-dum-bum.
All right. So on the budget at ADM, you have, it says here, I've got a 4,340. And so so your actual is 120 less than that is what we're saying?
Correct. And so we are actually going to recalculate our FY27 budget. And I believe that the number that we were going to use is 30 above where we actually landed on March 31st using our data trend.
Wouldn't it always, I'm not in the world of school finance, but wouldn't it always be better to underestimate ADM and then so get the money later in the year than overestimate and have to pay it back?
We actually do. We get a bizarre calc tool from the state, which oftentimes has us at a higher number than we believe our trend data shows. So Mrs. Stevens, you know what kind of data guru she is. She actually uses that 10-year trend data and uses that to really develop what we believe to be a rather accurate projection. This is the first year that I can recall that we have found ourselves in this position. And so we had a senior staff meeting this morning. We're walking our staff through different protocols in order to be able to help them identify areas within their current budget where we have potential savings.
Okay, because I'm just saying, what I'm seeing is actual, because I get some numbers here, actual ADM would be a little bit lower than last year. If you go, and he's saying that's correct.
That's correct.
That is correct. Okay. I'm just curious. Yes. Okay.
And we are happy to come back. We'd love to have a joint meeting. We're happy to come back and talk with you further about ADM and certainly the FY27 budget when we know more.
Okay.
So, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is that a motion, Mr. Platt?
Yeah, it's a motion.
Okay.
To appropriate the budget amendment that the schools got from to include additional state and federal grant money that they received and with no local match. That's my motion.
This is, I know it's critical. Some of the stuff you can move to next year, next fiscal year. What has to be approved right now? Because if we're asking, somebody else has asked for more information.
I guess I'm struggling to understand what the difficulty is, gentlemen and Mrs. Long. I'm struggling to understand how money that is coming with zero attachment for funds from the locality is causing such pause. We have worked diligently to apply for these grants, and to hit a hurdle with our supervisors is very disheartening. And so I'm really trying to understand where this is coming from. In all actuality, this belongs in consent. This should not be something that is being analyzed this deeply and peppering us with this type of question when we've given you an exhaustive document that it is clear not everybody has even reviewed.
Dr. Calvert,
Yes, sir.
point taken. It's late in the year. Had some questions. I would have been pulled off consent anyway, so.
Okay.
um,
But I'm trying to
But
understand what the cause is to give
I-
schools money that they have received from the state and the feds. Where is the issue?
Let me, can I speak, Mr. Chairman?
Gentlemen and ladies, let's be quick with dispositioning this.
Well, I don't think I don't think you can order us to be quick. I think we having a discussion on an issue. And
Agreed.
She asked a question about where the consternation is coming from and what the
Please.
issue is. And I'd like to respond.
Please do.
Thank you. My issue is not that it's free money. My issue and concern is some of it can be carried over and possibly used for next year. And probably, I think maybe a little more time to take a look at it. With the $1.3 million shortfall, I see you can close some gaps that you have due to ADM. So I can understand that. But some of it, I think, I just would not like to make a hasty decision.
But you are preventing programs from continuing that are already in place, contracts that have already been signed to proceed forward.
We have basically 3 weeks of school. Seniors graduate in a week. School continues. You have other programs through the summer, of course. So you ask.
Every single one of these grants has training with it
Right,
and
I'm giving
licensure
you-
requirements, which do not pause when school
Right,
ends.
I'm giving you my answer. Whether you accept it or not, that's up to you. So you ask me, you ask a question, I'm trying to give you an answer as to, for me, I'm not speaking for the board.
Sure.
My concern is that we are here at May 12th, at the end of the school year, and we have this large amount of money that I would like to have seen possibly spent through the year to get to where you want to be. And
We have
but you didn't
just
have-
received the
I-
funding.
and
It
I-
went to the April 13th school board meeting for
and-
approval.
And that is the part that I have to reconsider myself, reconcile with myself of why the state would be so careless and do this without giving you ample time to put this. So that's not your issue.
It's not. And I
Right.
think that you are holding the school division hostage over something that we have no
I'm not
control
holding-
over, Mr.
I'm not
Underwood.
holding anyone hostage.
Well, it
I'm not.
certainly feels that an inability to approve our request
I'm
this
sorry you feel
evening
that way,
would cause us to have to pause much of this.
I'm not holding you hostage, I promise.
All right, we have a motion. Can we get a second?
Need a second.
I'll second it. All right, with motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
All right, do a roll call vote. Mr. Black?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
I just want 2 weeks to see it, so I vote nay.
I vote aye. Mr. Seeley?
I'm with Mr. Thomas, 2 weeks to see it. I'm voting nay.
Ms. Long?
I'll vote aye.
Sorry?
Aye.
Okay, and Mr. Underwood?
I vote nay.
All right, we have 3-3.
So it comes back next meeting.
Gentlemen, went through the effort to get the grants. They have a very short window to spend this.
The one grant is due May
Miss-
15th, for your awareness, that I've
Understood.
repeated 3 times.
Mr. Foran, I have a question. This was approved at your April 13th board meeting. We got it at 11 o'clock on Thursday, before, as our board packet was being presented. Why didn't it come sooner? You
When was your
approved this
meeting,
on the 13th
Mr.
of-
Sealy? We have one meeting a month. When should we have brought it forward? We've asked for repeated joint meetings. You are unaware of whether or not this would have been agenda topic because we have never had one of our invites received and accepted. So if there was open collaborative dialogue, we could avoid scenarios just like this. And the only people that you are hurting in this moment are educators and students. And put your head on your pillow tonight and rest however comfortably you can in making this decision tonight, because this is shameful. And I am extremely disappointed. Extremely. We are not asking for a penny. A man came up here and got $3,000 for you who didn't have a document with him. I have everything I can possibly bring to you regarding this. And you are not even entertaining a motion to approve. I find that despicable. And I will rest easy tonight because I will always fight with data. I will fight with truth, and I always put students and staff first. I wish I could say the same about each of you.
We need to wrap this up. We will, if we choose to readdress it this evening, we will. If not, it'll be on the next meeting agenda. I share some sentiments. I think this is something that we could do it, but again.
So we will return the Jobs for Virginia grant funding for $30,000 because that is due to be spent by May 15th, and we do not have budget authority for that.
Is that something the board could at least reconsider on that one grant? I mean, if they're going to lose
And
the grant,
all-in funds due June 30th.
if there's a deadline here and we're going to withhold that money, if you want to talk about the money that we can at least discuss at the next meeting, then we can go ahead and do that. But to stop them from getting what is essentially free money that requires no match from us, why would we do that if we're not going to meet again in time for them? So, Dr. Kilberg, what are the two grants that we have to do tonight?
We have to move forward on Virginia graduates. That has to be spent by May 15th.
Is that
We've
the
only had it
$30,000?
in our-
That's the $30,000 one, right?
Correct. We have to move forward with the all-in-state funds. We have to do that. That has to be spent by June 30th.
Hold on. Can you just hold on so that way I can get see if I can get a motion out of this. So,
Mr. Black, I'm going to call a 5-minute recess just to let cooler heads prevail. So we will recess for 5 minutes. Take a walk, everybody. We will come back if we want to discuss it on our own with 2-on-2. That's fine. But 5 minutes back here. Thank you. Well, 8 minutes. 20 minutes, so I apologize for the delay. We are back. We will reconvene the Board of Supervisors meeting for May 12th, 2026. We are in the middle of item number 5, which is the supplemental appropriations to the school budget. I think we have some tacit agreement on some approvals for tonight. Who wants to?
I'll go ahead and make the motion. Can we at least approve tonight, because they will run out, the jobs for Virginia, which is the $30,000 one you need by May 15th, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the all-in state funds, which are also something that would affect your this year and this year's, correct?
These need to be spent down by June 30th of 2026. Yes, sir.
So, okay, if those were the two, in talking with Dr. Hubbard, that were like essential for tonight. So,
Wasn't there one other we talked about? There were 3. What's the third one? I didn't mark it.
For clarification, the only 2 with those types of specific deadlines are the 2 that have been identified, but I do think it's important to note that each of them is already in implementation phase with consultants and with licensure pathways and with trainings already scheduled. And so if we do come back at the second meeting of May, I would really love to have a better understanding, and possibly that could come in writing to us, as to what you would need to better understand the grants and what the hurdle would be that we need to help you overcome, because that is something that I think we would need greater clarity on.
Chairman Forehand.
Wait a minute,
Was there a third item?
Wait, there's the third. Reggie, what was the third one? I didn't mark it correctly, so I can't find it in the sheets that I have.
Dr. Hubbard only gave me 2.
I understand that, but there was one more Mr. Underwood and I talked about. And I just.
The SOQ bonus would have to deal with, I mean, that would be something that would be dealing with this year for SOLs and so forth, I would imagine. So, is that correct?
I'm not certain I'm understanding what you mean.
The SOQ bonus, wouldn't that have to deal with this year?
Okay.
Like, in other words.
We're using that. The reason we certified for payment in FY26 is we really love having the ability to use that as a Caroline commitment bonus. So if our staff sign their letters of appointment or their contracts by May 22nd at 5 o'clock, they become eligible for that Caroline commitment bonus. Of course, we don't know what that amount will be. It's to be determined based on state and local budgets.
All right, we have 2 items that we have a motion to approve 2 items.
And we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the 2 items, and I will say this. If you have specific questions regarding any of the other items, please contact.
You can send them directly to Mr. Cully and he will share them with me.
All right, please do that as soon as possible so they can give you an answer as soon as possible. And hopefully we will be able to reconcile the rest of these in 2 weeks from tonight. But we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any other discussion before we vote? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you for the reconsideration.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Parton, we have informational calendar items. Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not.
That was the time capsule.
Oh, a time capsule. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, I think that we discussed it earlier in the meeting.
Okay.
5A was one of my board comments. We're celebrating the 250th year of the Declaration of Independence. I thought it would be a good thing if the county did a time capsule for 50 years, put it in front of the community center, This building's hard as a rock. It'll be here in 50 years. And maybe we could get things from the school children, like the sixth graders, to put in it, things from the historical societies, county volunteers who want to put things in it, and then the sixth graders, when they're turning 60, would be able to open it in 2076, excuse me. And it was just an idea. I wanted to get the board approval before we talk to tourism or whoever else would be the point person.
So is this a not to exceed number or just interest?
It's just the interest at this point, and we'll come back with a little more details. I originally thought it was something we could do in August, and that way we would have had whatever 250 celebrations we want to include in the time capsule. So we have a little bit of time, and I just wanted to make sure the board thought it was a good idea and we could move forward with it.
All right. Open this up for any board comments regarding the time capsule opinion. All right.
A lot of opinion. It sounds like a yes to me.
I think
there's no.
in this one, silence is consent.
Yep, silence is consent.
Okay.
All right.
I'll contact Mrs. Beard and see if she could be the point person or somebody in her staff.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Informational items, calendar items.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you have your usual capital projects update report, finances provided. Moving to calendar items, of course, our offices will be closed for Memorial Day on Monday, May 25th. Next board meeting is on May 26th, the usual time of 6 o'clock. This will be repeated at the next meeting, but moving into June, we have 2 meetings in June. Remember, both the 9th and the 23rd. We do have a meeting on the 23rd. And county offices will be closed on June 19th in celebration of Juneteenth. That's what I had, Mr. Chairman.
All right. We do have a Memorial Day program on. Okay. I will let Mr. Seeley discuss that.
I already did.
Okay. You already did.
I did
All right.
opening board comments, giving you that just for information for you,
Excellent. Okay.
since you're the speaker.
Perfect. All right. Any other items for anybody?
Are we
All right.
done? Do we need to go back to closed meetings?
Mr. McKenzie,
We're done.
we're done.
We're done. We needed more information.
It's not 11:30 yet. We can't be done.
We can stay for a while because I think the folks in the back want to stay longer, so.
Okay. It appears that we have completed our agenda for the night. I will entertain any closing board comments, and starting with Mr. Black.
Yeah, I just have kind of one personal one. Had an opportunity over the last, say, 5 or 6 months to host, wasn't planned, host a German exchange student to come live with us. And it has been nothing but he goes back in a couple of weeks, and it has been nothing but a wonderful and positive experience. I think those foreign exchange students coming over here, his perception of America and Americans, I think, has greatly changed, and just a really, really good, great kid. So I wish him the best in his future in Germany. So that's all. Thank you.
Was he, did he go to Spotsy with you?
He did. He went to, he came to Spotsy with me. He's on the tennis team, and yeah, he's a great kid.
I know a couple families that have housed students this year, and one that's probably on year number 4 or 5, and it has been impactful for that family and their children.
Sure.
One family here in Bowling Green actually housed 2, and it's been a life changing might be a little overstatement, but it's been a big impact, positive impact of their lives.
Yeah, I look forward to visiting him and his family in Germany. So,
all right, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I did have one. I plan to do a constituent meeting the week of June 15th. which is between our two meetings. I don't have a time or place yet, but it'll be that week. I'll announce it on my Facebook page and mention it again at our next meeting in May. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Seeley,
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Long?
I just want to remind everyone that the Caroline County Fair is the 17th of June through the 20th, and all the staff has the 19th off, so it's a good time for all the staff together to go party at the fair and support the county. So see you at the fair, if not before.
All right, Mr. Underwood?
Yes, I'm going to be rather long, so you're going to have to bear with me.
Okay.
I gave to each board member a review of funding for schools, the sheriff's office, and first responders over the last 11 years. All I heard from this school board was that we have not funded schools. We haven't given them enough money. I have a chart that I want people to see, because I'm tired of people saying that we're anti-school and we haven't given schools more than enough money to have teachers have pay raises, have better schools. I'm tired of it. And I listen to it tonight like you're entitled. You're not entitled to anything. On the chart, starting in 2015, is the amount of money the state gave schools. Also on the chart is the amount of money that the local government, you the taxpayers, gave schools. If you notice, we gave additional funds over the required match. Gave over the amount we were required to. How much more did we give? Our local match was 33.0% over. So we've been funding schools for the last 10 years. We've over given money regarding the local match. Sometimes to the tune of $2.9 million in 2015, $2.8 million in 2016, $3.2 million over what we're required to give. But yet the comment from this school board is we don't give them enough money. I am sick and tired of it. Look at the numbers. Well, let's go to ADM. What happens when you don't make ADM? Oh, the state takes their money back. Does any money come back to the local government, to the taxpayers, when you don't meet your ADM? Absolutely not. Does any of the money that we gave them over the match come in? Absolutely not. So I'm tired of hearing it, that we haven't given them money over the last 10 years to the tune of $40 million over the local match required. We don't spend your money. We give schools the money, it's up to them to spend it. But there has to be accountability for the money that we give. Just look at it. The numbers speak for themselves. 3 million, 2 million, 3 million, 3 million, over a 10-year period, over $2 million per year over the local match. But all you hear is that we're anti-schools. We don't want to give them money. That's not the issue. Oh, we're growing so fast. No, you're not growing so fast. Look at the ADM. And tonight you heard there's 125 less students than budgeted. Do you think we're going to get any money back from the local match? Absolutely not. Now, granted, over the last couple of years, we have not given the schools much money over the local match. We haven't given them much. But look at the 10 years prior. $35 million over. Why didn't we give it to fire and rescue? And that's why we're in the shape we're in fire and rescue. That's why we don't have a public safety building. We took care of schools. We did a $25 million bond to remodel the high school in Madison, $5 million. Not saying these schools don't need to be upgraded, but the reality of it is we have put money in their pockets. At one point, the rubber has to meet the road. And I don't really, the reality of it is, David, can you give me the chart at the bottom, please? I want you to see, and the red line represents the local match, how much we've given. The blue represents the state money. Which one decreases? State money. Look at both sides. Young men, and young ladies, we're doing our job. We're giving schools what they need. And we have shorted fire and rescue, and we have shorted the public safety. And that's why public safety is in the situation it's in now. We owe it to the citizens of this county to do what is right. Schools are crowded not because of K-12 students, and that's what I'm concerned with. I agree we need pre-K and we need Head Start. I agree we need them. But we don't need them in our K-12 buildings that's causing crowding. We closed an elementary school and its administrative office. That's 400 seats. We're using Lady Smith School now, and we're renting out 15 spaces to a private school. Why can't we use that space? I just disagree. I disagree. I disagree the way it's going, and I disagree what's being done. Don't tell me that I'm not giving you money and I haven't voted for you to have money. The numbers speak for themselves. The chart speaks for itself. The chart speaks for itself. If it were inverted, I would say we need to do a better job. We need to raise taxes. We need to get more money from our citizens. Our citizens are doing their job. They've given us the money, and we put it in schools. Over 30 million over 10 years. You figure it out. And you tell me what we have done and what we haven't done. And I'm done.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Underwood. Thank you, everybody. Mike. Yeah. Graduation high school on Tuesday evening in the Glen Allen Event Center. That's coming up. I did make a Facebook post that has grown legs a little bit. Had the joy of being at our pickleball courts last week, the same evening as the Senior Sunrise event. Apparently, a good chunk of the students made plans to go to the pickleball and tennis courts. After that, I've honestly never seen so many people with pickleball rackets and tennis rackets. There were people playing pickleball on the tennis courts. All the courts were full. All the tennis courts were full. The pickleball courts were full, and there were probably 30 people sitting around watching, talking, laughing, just having a good, honest, clean, innocent, fun evening at our facility. So it was great to see. Hopefully that it's something that they do more frequently. And again, glad this board chose to invest in that, and the lights and the courts and the pavilion, all the above. So it's The feedback from the public has been excellent, and again, it would not have happened without the support of this board, so thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We're done. I'm told we're done.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned.